Mercury retrograde is upon us. It's in the sign of Aries. Thought I would do a card reading that can help bring some clarity. So here's the thing though, if you know your birth chart, your rising sign is actually something that's really influenced in Mercury retrograde because this is how you come across to other people and this is how you handle situations. So it can be about communication, which is the realm of Mercury. I really think that it's important if you know your birth chart to focus on not just your sun sign, but also your rising sign. So I'm going to do this whole video from Aries to Pisces. So make sure you watch for all of your signs, and I will put a link for you to easily hop over to your other sign in the description. I'm just going to pull an oracle card to start you off, and then I'm going to pull 3 cards. And the question is for each card is basically, what do you need to rethink, release, and reset? Kind of a theme going on here, Mercury retrograde, right? Since this is in the sign of Aries, Aries is always about taking action and getting out there. So when Mercury goes retrograde, it kind of reverses a little bit. There can be a bit of a slowdown. Now, this is my backyard astrology. I'm not an astrologer. This is just the energy that I pick up. It's definitely a time for you to maybe let go of being frustrated if things aren't going your way. Treat these things as a sign that you're meant to kind of slow down for a moment and reassess. Okay. So let's just jump in and get started. We're going to start with Aries. Let's pull a card here for you. Be decisive. How interesting for Mercury retrograde. I think what I'm picking up from this is you definitely have to have a plan. And I know it's nice to be spontaneous, but at the same time, it can be difficult to decide things if there's overwhelm or there's too many choices. So learn how to kind of narrow things down a little bit. So with this Mercury retrograde, this is the optimum time for you to maybe unravel a little bit of what you're doing so you can kind of go back and tackle it again. So I did write some notes here for each sign. What do we have here? So Aries, this Mercury retrograde is in your first house, which is about your identity, how you show up in the world. So this can be seen as your personal reboot. Things might feel off, but that's just Mercury slowing down so you can check in with yourself. Who are you becoming? What parts of your identity need a refresh? Okay, so let's pull 3 cards for you, Aries, and let's just see where you do need to rethink, release, and reset. Oh, by the way, I tried to record this already. Mercury retrograde, what are you going to do? And it's funny because the very first card is one that was in the reading I was trying to do that got all flubbed up. So it is interesting. So for you, for rethinking, we have the 8 of Swords, which is the perfect card to rethink. Rethink where you're holding yourself back. Rethink where you might be being a little hard on yourself. And if it's not you, maybe it's a situation or circumstance that you might be feeling is feels stuck or feels like it's not flowing the way you want it to. Okay. And the second card for release, we have the Hierophant. And this is really speaking about trusting what you know. Give yourself that kudos and accolades in what you've already experienced in life and trust that you know more than you think. You are in a state of up leveling, I feel. And when you can see yourself as an expert in yourself, it gives you a little more confidence. It gives you that opportunity to really understand yourself on a deeper level. And I think with this slowdown, with Mercury retrograde, that gives you that time to really reflect inwardly. And then in the area of reset, you have the Knight of Pentacles. So what I'm picking up with this one is definitely take a look around your physical surroundings. And I'm actually tuning in specifically to where your front door is and where your bedroom. Front door is like the mouth of your home. So it's somewhere where when you enter the door, how do you feel? Clear the area a little bit, wash your door, clean it with intention. And then your bedroom. Your bedroom is where you spend a lot of vulnerable time, like in your sleep. Look around in your space. Where can you declutter a little bit so that you can really feel like you're getting a good night's sleep and can reset? I feel that that's what I pick up with this card. So I hope that makes sense for you. And we're going to move on to Taurus now. So, magic video. I'm going to shuffle and I'll be with you in a second. All right, so for Taurus, this Mercury retrograde is in your 12th house. Let me look at my notes. This is the house for rest, intuition, and the unseen. And I wrote down your dreams and inner world are loud right now. Old emotions or past situations might pop up when you least expect them. This isn't about overthinking, it's about listening to what your intuition is trying to tell you. All right, let's see what the cards have to say. Let's pull an energy card to start. Let go and enjoy. Yes. And I feel that when Mercury does kind of throw a wrench into the works, that's a heads up for you to step back for a moment and just be, whatever it is going to be, what it's going to be. And just enjoy the journey, enjoy the pause, however that might look for you. All right. Now let's pull 3 cards for you. What do you need to release, rethink, and reset? Actually, the first one is rethink. That's what I get when I create a spread. Then I have to kind of remember what I came up with in the first place. So, all right. So, rethink. You have the 10 of Pentacles. Where can you rethink the lack that you've been feeling in your life? Because what I'm picking up here is that your life is rich and full, but you're missing out on that because you're so focused on what might be broken or what's wrong, what you might deem to be broken and what's wrong. Okay. You need to see it with different eyes. So this Mercury retrograde is the perfect opportunity to just look around, rethink what your material world around you is like. Okay. I gave some advice to Aries about check your front door, check your bedroom, areas where you're spending a lot of time, areas where you're coming into your home. You want to be able to open the door and feel good about what you see. And so shift something around there. And also when you're sleeping, you're in a more vulnerable state. So you want to give yourself that opportunity to be in a place where you feel comfortable and you can definitely recharge. All right. So in the area of releasing, you have the 2 of Pentacles. Wow. All of these are Pentacles, by the way. Taurus, of course, Earth energy. So what I pick up from this, it feels like there's been a few different things. You've been juggling a few different things. And it's time for you to just release needing to choose, is what I feel. And you can do more than one thing, not at the same time, obviously, but you can juggle a few different things. It's what you focus on, give it time, then take a break, focus on something else. That's what life is like. We can never truly just focus on one thing. There's a lot going on. We're breathing, we're walking, we're talking, we're chewing gum, all of the things. So give yourself grace when it comes to needing to do a bunch of different things. Give yourself that opportunity to just release the judgment or release the stress of needing to decide this or that. It's not this versus that. It's like all of it. It's okay to have everything. Just take things one bite at a time. All right. And in the area of what you can reset, you have the Queen of Pentacles. And she's sitting on her throne and yet, she's very comfortable being out in nature. And yet maybe she's sitting on her couch at home. but she's so focused and visualizing that it does feel like she is in nature. So this is the perfect place for you to reset, to focus on what you've already built so far, and to trust that more is coming because you are working toward it. And part of working is rest. You can't work 24/7. The rest is where you can get a bit of a break, but it's also where the ideas and the inspirations start to sprout. But you've got to have that quiet space in order to let that empty space fill in with inspiration. All right. Well, there you go, Taurus. That's it for you. Let's move on after I shuffle. All right, this is for Gemini. And let me look at my notes. Mercury retrograde is in your 11th house, which is about friendships, community, and future goals. And tuning into a message that came prior to pulling cards, I got people from your past might reappear, or maybe you're rethinking who you want in your circle. Plans with friends could feel messy, but it's all helping you figure out who's really on your wavelength. Okay, so let's pull an inspiring energy card to start. Live life to the fullest. So for you, Gemini, I feel that you could use a bit of a break. And this gives you that opportunity to understand what you really want. What do you really, really want? What do you desire? How can you live life to the fullest if you don't stop and think about it? All right, this is a perfect opportunity for you to do that. And let's pull some cards because I think there's more message that's going to come here. So 3 cards. Rethink, release, reset. Yeah, should have that other one in that different order. Let me go. So, rethink. You have the Knight of Swords. And in this particular card, in this particular deck, I always see him looking kind of angry, charging back into the past. So for this Mercury retrograde, this is perfect because you are now able to look back at the past with non-judgmental eyes. But it's also something specific I'm picking up. Now, clearly it's a general reading, so not everyone is going to feel that. But for some of you, you might have this one thought of a memory of something that happened coming in your mind over and over and over again, or a situation kind of repeats itself. It's kind of like um, deja vu that comes up, but in a way where it's like irks you, right? So to me, this is a great time for you to just clear the slate, rethink that by shifting it to where you are now and how you've either changed or adapted would probably be a better word, in a way that makes more sense to you going forward. And I love that it's an air sign because that's you. So let's move on. So the card release, I like this. I was hoping it'd be more for reset, the next one, but this is the card for release. You have the Fool, which is allowing you to really release the baggage. Notice he's only got a teeny, tiny little knapsack there holding on to. So there's not a lot of baggage he's taking into the future with him. It makes him lighter on his feet, makes it easier for him to land wherever he's stepping off this edge to. So for you, Gemini, it really feels like you have that opportunity to release that baggage that you might have been holding on to. Maybe you physically release it by writing things down on a scrap piece of paper and then burning it at the next full moon or new moon. I think we just had the new moon, so full moon will be coming up next. It really doesn't matter. It boils down to intention, realistically. That's what matters the most. Okay. And then in the area of reset, you have the Chariot. And what I pick up from this is once Mercury's gone direct again, which I believe it's April 5th, and then you got to give it a few days because it still kind of takes a few days to kind of really get out of that retrograde energy. It feels like things are really going to pick up speed. So you just need to decide. You need to decide what course, set your course for where you want to go. During Mercury retrograde, it's okay to plan, but don't act on it or act slower on it. But once Mercury goes direct, it's like that's when you can really use that energy. You'll have the wind at your back. It's enabling you to move forward with a lot more ease and effortlessness. It's not going to be a struggle. So you just have to give it time, and that's what's going to help you to get through this with the least discomfort possible, this Mercury retrograde. All right, let's move on. Well, wasn't that a lesson in Mercury retrograde? You might notice it's a different day, different clothes. Mercury retrograde decided that all of the other 9 signs that I did the readings for, poof, not going to record it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So here we are. I'm going to continue, and let's keep going with the sign of Cancer. So if Cancer is your sun or your rising sign, heads up, let me check my notes. So for you, Mercury retrograde is in your 10th house of career, reputation, and your long-term goals. And the message I have here is work stuff feels stuck or confusing, but don't stress. Mercury's pressing pause so you can rethink what success really looks like. Delays now could be blessings in disguise later. And that is great advice overall for all signs, for everybody. So let's get into this here. Let's pull a Divine Energy Oracle card to start and then go from there. So for you, it is embrace your power. And what this is telling me is that in the slowness or the things that flub up, that's the time to really lean into the gifts that you have, the gifts of patience, the gifts of surrendering to what is. That in itself gains you power. That gives you the strength to realize that you can deal with stuff that you didn't think you could before. But it's always good to focus on what your power is, not on things that disempower you. Okay? So move things around here. Okay, so let's get into your 4 cards. Now, again, I gotta remind myself because it's been a whole day. Oh, there's only 3 cards. That it's 3 cards. Oh, breathe, breathe. So we have the cards, what you need to rethink, release, and reset. And to rethink, you have the 10 of Wands, which I feel is you rethinking that what you're doing is hard. The work you're doing is daunting. We do that. Oh, I'm so busy and blah, 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 blah. Instead of embracing it, going, oh, my day is full. My week is full. How blessed am I? Like it's flipping the script a little bit. Rethink that. Rethink the work being hard and more of it being worthwhile, whatever that might be for you. And then for release, the 4 of Swords is saying to, yes, release the thoughts that are causing you to feel tired, exhausted. Think only of the things that uplift you. Give yourself time and space to relax, to unwind from the daily worries, different things like that. And then you have reset. This to me is the sign of perfecting what you already know. And sometimes the reset might not look different. It's going to be something that kind of repeats itself over and over. It's kind of like me trying to get this video out. Oh, for the life of me. So sometimes the reason is you do need to reset. Like taking it back to my example, well, last night or yesterday when I was trying to record all of them, well, clearly I needed to shift and clear my energy a little bit better in between the readings. And so there you have it. Or to at least check to make sure everything is still recording and stuff. There's always lessons to learn, right? So in the repeating, that's where you're seeing where you can be a little more efficient. You can be a little more okay with how things have to be a little bit different. Maybe you'll know how to recalibrate and that sort of thing. It's going to make it a lot better for you if you look at less of, oh, this is making me do it over again, and more of, oh, this is another opportunity to see something from a different perspective, or to keep going and perfect the thing you need to perfect. And I don't like the word perfect. I've said it like a gazillion times now. But what I mean by that, the meaning behind it, is giving yourself that opportunity to hone things in a way that feels more aligned with who you are and the things you do and want to create in this world. All right, there you go. That was for you, Cancer sign, rising or sun sign. We're going to move on right after I shuffle all these, clear the cards. All right, we're into the sign of Leo now. And for you, Mercury retrograde will be in your 9th house of growth, travel, and big ideas. And the message I have is travel plans, studies, or big goals might feel like they're in limbo. Instead of pushing ahead, take a step back and review the bigger picture. What's the lesson here? So your divine energy card is engage in higher reason. If you're struggling to wrap your mind around something, if there's something that's going on in your life, or, you know, in the media, there's lots going on, this is your opportunity to shift into your own higher reasoning. How does this affect you in a way that you can take it as a positive? And I know that can be kind of difficult at times, but if you give yourself grace, that's going to help you shift your energy from being in defense mode into more of a receptive offensive, where you can just kind of put your energy out there instead of having to feel like your energy is being drained by everything that's happening around you. Okay. Now let's pull your 3 cards. Wow, that Knight of Swords. Well, it was coming up a lot, but again, that recording didn't come through. So, but clearly it's a card that's needed. So here we are. We've got the rethink card for you, which is the Knight of Swords. Rethink how you react to things that are happening. Rethink maybe not the past, but use the past as a lesson, a barometer to show you, okay, yeah, I didn't really react the way I wanted to. So it gives you the opportunity for the next time a situation comes up where you want to get into that energy of reacting, you can have a more intellectual memory of, okay, let's not do it that way. Let's find a different way of sharing my thoughts about something, especially if it's something that you're very passionate about. Okay. And then we have your release card, which is the 6 of Pentacles. This is the card of reciprocity. When you are so focused on trying to keep all your stuff together, because Pentacles is about earth, about material items. If you're less about, how can I protect my stuff, and more about how can I be more open and generous, then that reciprocity can take place. Okay. It gives you that opportunity of give and take. Sometimes it feels like take everyone else, right? And instead of feeling judgmental about it, you can give yourself a bit of grace and just trust that by letting them have their way, you're taking the higher road and everything will always work out. Have that trust and faith that it will always work out. Okay. Reciprocity sometimes shows up as someone taking something from you first. So be aware of how you respond to that. And the more generous you are with your thoughts and judgment, the reciprocity you receive over time is going to be something that is more of a reward for you than a lesson. I'd rather have a reward than a lesson. I don't know about you. All right. And then we have what you need to reset. You need to reset by taking some time to be by yourself, to trust that you know what's best for you. And if people are trying to give you advice and this and that, I mean, it's okay. Take it with a grain of salt. But I believe the only way you're really going to get through any struggles is if you allow yourself the time and space to deal with it. And sometimes it looks like you just keeping it to yourself instead of needing to share details with everybody. That sometimes that's a way to handle it, because then it's less likely you have to shoot down other people's ideas when they come up with solutions to your problem. And then you're like, no, I did all that. I did all that. I did all that. Sometimes just keeping it to yourself and trusting you will find the light yourself. So you have the light that will lead you through that dark moment or that dark period of time that you might be going through. Okay. All right. That's it for you, Leo. So if that was your sun or rising sign, give it a thumbs up if you like this video. And I'm going to move on now to Virgo. Okay, Virgo, here we go. Let's see. So Mercury retrograde is in your 8th house of transformation, deep bonds, and shared resources. And the message I have here is financial agreements, emotional ties, and even personal growth are up for review. Don't rush into big decisions. Let things unfold naturally so you can see what's really meant for you. I love that. So let's start with a divine energy card. You have shine your light. I think no matter the circumstances or despite what's going on, it can feel a little weird to shine your light when everyone else might be struggling around you. But you can't, to me, it almost feels like guilt, happiness guilt, when something good happens to you, but you don't really want to share it because everyone else is having a bad day. Well, sometimes by you sharing the good in your life, you're dispelling a little of that darkness in someone else who can enjoy vicariously through you whatever it is that you're celebrating. And I know that sometimes people will get jealous and stuff, and that goes in our mind and keeps us from shining our light. But at the same time, we can't control what anyone else thinks. No matter what our intention is, someone's always going to take it the wrong way. And that's not our problem. That's theirs. All right. Shine your light. So let's pull the 3 cards. What you need to rethink, always forget the rethink, release, and reset. Here we go. I make these things up and then I don't remember, but hey, that's the way she goes. All right, so Virgo, we have the Ace of Pentacles. Time to rethink. What am I picking up? Instantly, what came in my mind is work for some reason. So maybe you need to rethink what you're doing in your work, in the work you want to do. That's going to be something that is worth your time and your effort, so that you have all of your faculties about you and you're not just kind of like wasting your energy. So if, Mercury retrogrades kind of throws a wrench into the works, that's something that is going to allow you to just kind of take inventory. What's most important? What's your priority? What do you need to prioritize in order to move forward and be successful? Okay. And then what you need to release. This one comes up a lot. Four of Swords. You need to release those thoughts that are weighing you down, the thoughts that are stopping you from trusting who you are. Like, shine your light. Like that's perfect. So take time to clear your energy from the thoughts that are making you feel small, or making you feel like you're not important enough. And when you do that, you will find you have more energy, but you need to take the rest first. You need to rest your mind, not just your body. That's going to help shift your energy so you're in a place of really working on that one big thing that you really want to have. Okay. And then the card for reset, you have the Temperance card. So whatever it, and I love this because whatever it is you're doing, you are combining things together. It's shifting your mindset, giving yourself a break, trusting and shining your light. All of that is transforming into something that's going to give you a boost for this next month or so, is what I pick up for you. And I feel that you already understand this, except you might be worried about what the outcome is going to be. And sometimes we don't really know. We can plan, but don't get stuck in the details of it has to look like this in order for me to know I've succeeded. You just have to be willing to trust the energy is going to mix up the way it needs to. The outcome is that there's happiness, success, and all of that great stuff, the energy you need. And that's all you really need to focus on. All right. There you go, Virgo. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to clear the cards and shuffle so we can move on. Okay, this is for Libra, sun and rising sign. And the Mercury retrograde is in your 7th house of relationships, partnerships, and one-on-one connections. And the message I have is love, business, friendships, everything one-on-one is under review. If an ex or an old situation resurfaces, ask yourself if it's unfinished business or just a test. No rushing, just reflect. Ooh, interesting. So your energy card is claim your art. Whatever that looks like for you. You might not be an artist, a painter, a basket weaver. Your art is whatever it is you love to craft. Maybe you're a marketer. Maybe you're who knows what. Who knows what? I'm not going to even get into the examples. And if you aren't sure what your art is, this is the opportunity for you to really think, like, what do I love to create? What do I love to do? That to me is true art, when you do it for the love of it and not for the reward. Okay. Now let's pull 3 cards. We've got rethink, release, reset. So rethink. You have the 5 of Wands. Where have you been? Where's your energy been competing with itself? That makes sense? Is that how I want to word it? Because I feel like, 5 of Wands is often about conflict and competition. And as you can see, there's 5 different people. But sometimes I pick up that this is just 5 different ways we screw ourselves over. So maybe it's time to rethink all of the things that you've done that might have felt like you're sabotaging yourself, or you're not doing the right things to move forward. Maybe it involves other people too. It's a collective for all Libras out there. So everybody's situation is unique. But let's move on. Release, we have the Knight of Pentacles. And to me, it's releasing that judgment of things taking too long. Maybe you're trying to create abundance in your life in whatever form, and it's taking too long for your liking. Because this Knight of Pentacles, he's one of the slowest knights in the deck. He's just standing there. However, he's surveying the land, and he knows that some things do take time. So you need to release rushing through something, because that's not the reason to do it. And sometimes it's not the outcome that's the reason to do it. Sometimes the reason to do it is to just do it, to take action, to move all in one direction. I would have loved if you would had an 8 of Wands here where they're all flowing in the same direction. But with this 5 of Wands, it's feeling like that you're not going to get anywhere if you just kind of keep feeling stuck amongst yourself. You need to clear the way, see where the road can lead you, and then step forward from there. And I love this reset for you is the Queen of Pentacles. So when you finally do all of that, you'll be in a position where you're comfortable with whatever it is you're doing. You allow yourself to enjoy the fruits of your labor, and you trust that there's always going to be more available to you. So maybe even start with this. That's a great way to kind of lay the foundation of creating a new habit and trusting your own abundance, however that might look for you. All right, there you go, Libra. Hope you like that. I'm going to clear the cards now and we'll move on. All right, this is for Scorpio, Sun, and Rising signs. So Mercury retrograde will be in our 6th house of daily life, work, and wellness. And the message I have here is your routine might feel messy, already experiencing that, but Mercury is showing you what's not working. If you're running on empty, it's time to slow down. Small shifts in your habits will make a big difference. I love that for us. Okay. Energy card, divine energy. Grieve your losses. Oh, this one hits home for me, especially this timing. And it's giving yourself permission to feel all the feels. I mean, we always do. We feel things deeply, but I think we give ourselves a time limit. Okay, I've done that enough, Oh, it's been a couple months, a couple years, whatever it is. And realistically, you can't combine time with grief. That's not how it works. And I feel that there's going to be ebbs and flows of your energy, of your emotions, of dealing with whatever you're grieving. So when it comes up, honor it. Nobody else has to understand it. Just you. Just trust it. Okay. All right. Let's pull 3 cards. We've got rethink, release, and reset. Wow. Ooh, I like this. Okay. So for rethink, we've got the 7 of Swords. Where are you feeling like the world is against you? Where are you feeling that you have to be so wary of your thoughts and of your communication? In my past relationship, yeah, I had to really kind of watch what I said, because down the road it would kind of blindside me later and come back up into my face. So I'm very well aware of that kind of energy. So for you, it might be maybe you need to have a conversation with someone about something that irked you, or that there was just a disagreement about. I'm not sure. But maybe give yourself time to just rethink how you want to say something during this Mercury retrograde. This is because miscommunication is definitely one of Mercury retrograde superpowers. So take a moment before you actually open your mouth and speak, and just kind of think about the ramifications, think about how you could say something in a way that is more empowering, so for yourself or whatever the situation. And I think that will help ease things through this season. And then in the area of release, you've got the Five of Cups. Release focusing on how bad something is. And it's really interesting because you have the grieve your losses. The Five of Cups is saying, yes, I am grieving my losses. But this is also in the area of release, that you're helping to release the energy of it. So grieving isn't focusing on it so that you keep it. Re- Release is about facing it and then turning around and noticing what gifts you still have and a path you can still go to move past it. And I love that. And then you have reset. You've got the beautiful star. Reset your energy, reset your emotions. And I'm and I'm picking up that spend some time staring at the night sky. Like we did when we were kids. You'd look for that first star. You'd imagine what's going on there. I think that there's a message there for you if you can spend some time looking up at the star, looking up at the night sky, and maybe you're going to find some inspiration there, and it will give you that broader view of where your emotions and your thoughts and ideas can really work together as a team. But you got to give yourself time first, especially during this retrograde season. All right, let me clear the cards and we'll move to the next sign. All right, Sagittarius. Here we go. Let's see. Mercury retrograde's in your fifth house of creativity, fun, and romance. So it might mean a bit of a slowdown. Let's see, what did I write? Love, fun, creative projects could feel all over the place. Go back to what used to light you up, whether it's an old hobby. Enjoy the nostalgia, but don't make any big moves yet. Yeah. You don't want to do anything new in Mercury retrograde anyways. So let's see, what's the divine energy? You have rejuvenate. And it's a good reword for Mercury retrograde. What can you do that you enjoy that's really going to help shift your energy a little bit? That's something that you can kind of focus on for this season of retrograde. Now we're going to pull 3 cards: rethink, release, and reset. So for rethink, you have the Knight of Wands. This to me is thinking about your energy. If we're looking at the rejuvenate, maybe what you're doing now for activity or actions you're whether it's, academic or work or fun, maybe that isn't something that's been rejuvenating you. So it's time to rethink the actions that you take, make more deliberate actions so you're not wasting your energy on things. That's what I pick up for that. And then with release, you have the moon, which is good for releasing. This is something that sometimes you have to go a little deeper in order to really kind of get to the bottom of whatever you're feeling. Things need to rejuvenate themselves a little bit, or not rejuvenate. Things need to kind of settle a little bit. So you have that opportunity to kind of contemplate what's going on in your life, what might be something you need to release. And then for the reset card, you have the Page of Swords. I'm feeling that you need to find something that inspires you. Maybe what is inspiring you now isn't enough to carry you through to actually take the actions that you need to take. So finding something that that gives that inspiration, learning something new, or not learning something brand new, but learning something that you've wanted to in the past. Like it is really about returning to things. That's the whole magic of Mercury retrograde. So it's not something brand new, but think back, Sagittarius, you know that there's probably something that you started or wanted to and didn't. So truly, that's like a reset, getting you toward whatever it is that inspired you, that gave you that hmm, that inspiration. I can't think of another word for some reason. So there you go. That's your reading. Let me clear the cards and we'll move on. All right, this is for Capricorn, sun and rising signs. So Mercury retrograde will be in your fourth house of home, family, and foundations. And the message I have is family drama, home projects, or even your sense of stability could feel shaky. Mercury's helping you sort out what really matters. Take time before making any changes. Take your time before making any changes. And your divine energy card is love yourself. And I feel that during this retrograde season, I mean, and all the time, things happen. We trip, we fumble, and we want to instantly beat ourselves up, but we need to love ourselves. So love yourself through this, Capricorn. Treat yourself as you would a young child, or how you wished you were treated as a child when you did something wrong. Having a little more compassion and just a little bit more love. That's going to be helpful so you feel less embarrassed about something, and therefore you have the energy to actually rectify whatever it might be. All right, let's pull 3 cards now. What you need to rethink, what you need to release, and what you need to reset. Ooh, I love it. This is like the epitome of these categories I came up with. So what you need to rethink, you've got the Queen of Swords. So the swords are about thoughts, energy of air. So what do you need to rethink, Capricorn? There's something that's been on your mind, and maybe you're kind of struggling with how to shift it. And it's okay, because I think using this Mercury retrograde is the time to harness that reversing so that you can kind of sit in the energy a little bit, kind of figure things out. And if you just allow it, give it some space. See, she's got lots of blue sky up here. She's above the clouds. So she has the sky's the limit of space to come up with her thoughts, her communication. And that's what Mercury retrograde's all about anyway. What Mercury is all about is communication. So whatever it might be, this is a sign that if you give yourself that space, you will clear the energy and be able to move forward. And the energy of release, we have the King of Cups. So releasing all of those emotions, releasing that pent up energy. And I feel like doing it in a way that's healthy. You know, punch a pillow, go for a run. I know when I was married and we used to have fights, I would get so much housework done because I was so mad. I got lots done because I used that energy and put it into something that was constructive. So I feel like that's a good message for you too. No wonder I don't get much housework done now. I'm not angry. Oh, okay. So, and reset, you have the Ace of Wands. Reset your energy. Do something you really like. What lights you up? What really gets you fired up? That's something that can reset you. And however that looks for you. There you go, Capricorn. I hope you like that reading. Going to reset the cards. Move on to the next sign. Well, here we are. We have Aquarius, sun and rising sign for this Mercury retrograde reading. So it is going to be traveling through your 3rd house of communication, learning, and everyday connections. And the message I wrote was double check texts, emails, because miscommunication is everywhere. If an old idea, project, or person resurfaces, it might be worth revisiting. Just take your time before committing to anything. It's always good advice. All right. The divine energy we have for you: face your adversities. So, yes, this is a good time. Face the things that have been getting in your way, whatever that might be for you. Adversities could be, usually it's not people, it's our thoughts, it's our emotions, it's our reactions to things, it's the things we fear. So when you face them, it doesn't mean you have to battle them, but you just, by facing them, you're understanding yourself a little bit better. Even if the fear is of the unknown, we can't know the unknown until we kind of address it a little bit and see how our energy and our emotions are affecting how we are trying to move forward through whatever it is that we find fearful. All right, we've got 3 cards to pull for you, Aquarius. We've got rethink, release, and reset. You have for rethink, you've got the 4 of Cups. Rethink where you haven't really been having the right energy to. What am I trying to say? Like in this picture, he's got his arms folded over his in front of his heart. So he's closed himself off to anything good coming in. So maybe you need to rethink where you might be have been doing that, and rethink how you have been emotionally unavailable for whatever the situation is. And I say that not as a judgment. We all do it in whatever capacity, and it's totally okay. It's a human thing, right? Gosh darn humans, us. Anyways. And I feel that it's important for you to just take a moment and understand why you feel what you feel. Sometimes we're just not congruent with what's going on around us. Sometimes we're just not emotionally involved or attached into the things that maybe we should be. So rethinking what's going on. And that might be something that comes up during retrograde. I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. So in the card for release, you have the Hierophant. I feel this, and since it's in your 3rd house about communication and stuff like that, to me, it feels like you're kind of tired of the way you've had to do things by everyone else's rules. So maybe it's releasing, thinking that you have to follow everyone else's rules, and you can start governing your own way about moving around in the world, whatever that looks like for you. And then when your reset card, you've got the Page of Pentacles. So resetting how you see yourself in the world. Reset how you walk through your environment, walk through your home. How does it make you feel when you're in your home? Are you looking around at stuff going, yeah, this is great? Or are you looking around going, ooh, that bugs me, that bugs me, that bugs me? I couldn't think of anything else. And I think if you can reset how you react and connect with your physical world, maybe it's a messy desk at work and you're like, I'm not doing anything about it, but I'm just letting it piss me off. Like that's not good energy. But if you take a moment to really start to understand the things that are subliminally affecting us in our physical world, that gives us more inspiration to see, oh, okay, I see where that's affected me. Maybe it's time for me to shift things around a little bit, whether it's clean that mess or whether it's like deal with it emotionally and mentally. All right. Well, there you go. Got one more sign to do. Let me just clear the cards and we'll get to it. Okay, Pisces. If this is your sun or rising sign, this is for you. And Mercury retrograde is in your second house of money, security, and self-worth. And the message I have here is think twice before making big purchases. Instead of focusing on what's missing, use this time to get clear on what really adds value to your life. Mercury's just making sure you're investing in what truly matters. I love that. So your divine energy card is begin to explore. And I think give yourself permission to look at things that you've wanted to do in the past, but you've never really given yourself the time to do it. Explore what you love, explore things that, and since this is in your second house of money, security, and self-worth, it's exploring things that you're good at. So you have that, so you can bolster your ego a little bit and in a good way. Okay. What can you do that can make you feel good about your production in the world, in your work in the world, your vocation, whatever that might be? All right, let's pull 3 cards. These are the cards that are about rethinking, releasing, and resetting your energy. So rethinking, you've got the 9 of Pentacles. So this to me, and it's in your second house, so you maybe need to rethink rewarding yourself a little bit more instead of focus so much on money, going out or needing to make money to pay for things, and more about what can I do? How can I put a little bit aside to reward myself? As you see in this card, she's got 6 pentacles here and then 3 off to the side. To me, this is what she's paying out. And then, she's going to save some for herself. That's her investment in herself and in the world around her. Okay. And then for release, you've got the Hanged Man. This is perfect Mercury retrograde energy right here. So releasing needing to control things, releasing thinking you're relaxing when your mind is racing 100 miles ahead of you to catch up with everything else. When you have that time to slow down, you can begin to explore things on a different level. So if you don't meditate, I recommend trying some meditation in a way that aligns with you. It doesn't always have to be sitting in the lotus position with your hands in a mudra. It can be something that just gets your mind focused somewhere so the rest can kind of fall away for a little while. Okay. And then the card for reset, you have the 8 of Cups. I'm really drawn to these. These are all set up perfectly, but the reset could be like that cup needs to be over more. But truly, I feel he's going off, or she or whoever is going off looking for that missing cup, looking for the 9th cup. But what you can do to reset your energy, your emotions, is to trust that everything is set up the way it's meant to. There is that divine overview of things going on in life. And as much as we want to have our wishes and our dreams, we also have to trust that the path isn't always going to be the way we want it to be. We have to trust that there's going to be switchbacks and S-turns and roundabouts and speed bumps and all sorts of things that get, for lack of a better term, get in the way, and yet they're there for a reason. And I'm drawn back to that because those things get in the way so we can stop and we can kind of get our bearings and understand why things are the way they are. Well, there you go, Pisces. And there you go. That's the end of the reading. Finally, I hope this works. I'll tell you right now, I still have to edit it, but I hope it works. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't, and like this video, please. It really helps my channel. It really helps YouTube understand that maybe you like it, so maybe they'll show it to more people. All right. We'll see you in my next video. Peace.